I doubt that this is a pleasant lighting. But I didn't really think it through. Is that fine? I feel like it kind of adds to the vibe. We'll just leave it in. Just like subjects that I've encountered on media recently and how that's kind of related with some things that I've been thinking about. And I think that is what we will be doing. But this is a more casual video, and I think I've made my decision. That's what we're going to talk about. Most recently, I've been getting back into social media with a little bit more intention this time. And I think the people that I have seen through Instagram mostly, there were creators that I was able to find that did very interesting content, very important content, I feel, where we get to kind of it is kind of sad when you say it like this, like you're kind of interacting with people through the screen, I guess, but you get more in-depth encounter of them at the very least, because social media, yeah, there's a lot of people that we are encountering that we probably shouldn't be encountering, and there's a lot of perceptions that are being skewed, or I don't know, there's just a lot of perceptions, period. And it's just a lot. There's a lot of people on social media. There's a lot of people in general, whatever, but it's getting easier to access these people now that social media is such an accessible platform for a lot of people. I feel that most of the time, the way that we see these people, it's very surface level, right? People pick and choose what they want you to see. I feel like this speech has been done over and over again, but they get to control it. It's their account, or sometimes other people choose for them, and so that they're perceived in a particular way. All that to say, it's a very short and limited way to experience that person. But these contents that I've just been seeing around more frequently lately, obviously they can't still cover the whole person, they can't really go through a whole therapy session and we know the person now. It's not the point. We get little glimpses, like real glimpses of people and their thoughts. And I will find that really interesting, and it's a very refreshing way of approaching this tool that we now have. Some of the things that I encountered a lot were talks of love, and I will link everyone that I'm talking about, the creators that I'm talking about. Love and the talk of it has been the redefinition of love through exploring different perspectives and ideas that people have, or lessons that they've learned about love, and it's been a very interesting journey watching that. And obviously I didn't watch everything, but some of the ones that I was able to watch, it was really, really interesting to see, and to also go on the comments and see people feeling like they have had the opportunity to either find this to be relatable or find this to be the solution for whatever problem or dilemma they had regarding that specific subject. Or it's just people it's like a revelation, you know. Oh, we can think about love like this. And when it becomes a pattern of different perspectives, it almost makes you end up in a place where you feel okay about you yourself having your own perspective, because all these people have different perspectives. They're all good, they're all very, I don't know, it's very based on their own experience and the conclusions they come to. It's very logical for them, and not just for them, it reaches people as well. But these are all valuable lessons, and not one is like, one is not better than others. One might be a little bit more relatable for you specifically than another one, but in general, they're all good, they're all respectable. So I think that as a whole, we can see that people are different in that way, and we get to see that people are different in their thoughts, and we are respectful of it. I feel like this is such a refreshing thing. Is it just me? My whole thought was, the more these perspectives kept reoccurring, I kept thinking, there's just one thing that kept bugging me, and I don't know if it's because I was perceptive of that subject to begin with, like from my own life and my own experiences, so I'm more hyper aware of it. And it's necessary. I believe that this is necessary. How people are more promotional towards the relationship of friendship in order to kind of liberate us from that romantic love and that idea of it that we buy into. Or there's a lot of good points made of people usually get into romantic relationships. They don't value friendships as much as that romantic relationship, and how wrong that is, because we have all these people that love us and that are so important and valuable to us, and yet we still keep chasing that, you know, that love that isn't even supposed to really exist for the most part. That's where the redefinition of love romantically comes in. Most of the talks that I've heard have been, you know, friendships are just as important. All our love is abundant. You know, we receive a lot of love from the world, whether it be from our relationships, classify that to friendships or family, or through our creative works or through our non-creative works. Whatever it may be, love is around us, right? That's one way to look at this. And then there is, within that branch, there's a lot of specification with friendships, because I do believe that they are undervalued a lot of the times, especially when they are being compared with romantic relationships. And I think that it is a very important lesson to get out there. The other one that I hear a lot of the times is self-love, which I am so proud of people for this. Good job, everyone. Self-love, forming that foundation of love within yourself before seeking for it externally. Very good lessons, everyone. I love it. Give yourself a good pat on the back. There's a lot of good points made on this, on self-love, and direct relation to how you perceive love that comes to you romantically from another person. The usual points made were that you need to be comfortable within yourself, you need to be secure within yourself, you need to also be comfortable with the idea of like you being with yourself. I don't know, like not being alone, more so not attaching any other expectations, being independent. That's what I mean. Being independent and not attaching any expectations from the other person to fill any part of your identity for you. Because again, like most commonly brought up points that society has kind of been largely pushing on us and selling the idea of this love has been that two people, soulmates we call it, usually people who fall in love, soulmates, whatever, come in and they are usually half-halves. I don't know, man, half-halves, and then they kind of complete each other. That's the whole thing, you know. Oh yeah, I was so sad before I met them, and then that's when I found joy. There are exceptions, but it's not, maybe not, you know, maybe just be happy without relying on someone else to make you happy. And maybe like even when you get into relationships, maybe don't rely on the other person to keep up with your insecurities for you. But no, I'm not criticizing people. I'm saying that's usually what it is sold and what is normalized and what's considered to be okay. And that's what we are talking about, isn't it? The healthy love. I love that idea, that whole movement, conversations we are having. Amazing, man. All these people are so fucking smart. My not criticism, I think my little thought is, because no one is coming and interviewing me, I think that we have gone to a point where we are romanticizing, we are talking about romantic relationships and the toxicities of it and how they don't work out, why they don't work out, how you need to work on yourself in order for that to be a better experience next time around, or if that's okay if it doesn't have it, whatever it may be, right? That we have kind of leaned towards the romanticization of friendships. I understand, you know, I understand that this is an important shift we needed to make, where we collectively agree that all relationships in our life are to the equal measurements. But I think in some levels we might also critique that everyone is human and all relationships can go awry for various reasons, whether you want to examine it or not. But since this is what we're doing, we're having conversations where we are trying to examine it and break barriers and boundaries that have been set on us, and what we expect to be normal, to challenge them a little bit, right? Maybe curate a better life for us individually, better expectations for us individually fit, because everyone is different. And I feel that in the process of critiquing this like what's it called? Romantic love? Romance. And the false ideas associated with it. I think they're just placed in very safe positions right now. And it makes it almost seem like these same games aren't happening in friendships. From my perspective, I think we should address each relationship not in the same way. I agree that romantic relationships have heavier weights because of, again, what that label implies. There's a lot more to it. I completely understand, but I think in hopes of pushing against that, we have kind of pulled in friendships or familiar relationships and put them in the pedestal, acting like that label alone makes them and like puts them on that neutral, in fact, a good ground. But in every friendship, we can find similar patterns that we are talking about in the critique of familial relationships, not romantic relationships. Same with familial relationships. Reliance, that was the first thing, right? Lack of independence, being dependent on someone else and expecting that fulfillment from friendships, from whatever role a family has in our lives. I don't know, are there other relationships, you guys? Maybe like our pets? Maybe we're expecting too much of our pets. I wonder if we should go through some of these perspectives just to make sure we kind of appreciate them to the full extent, But I want more talks on other toxic relationships apart from romantic ones, because they could be just as toxic, and someone out there might need that validation for why that dynamic has become toxic and they're feeling uncomfortable in there, or why they can't really see that person as being bad or not good for them, for the sake of that shade they have friendship, and most people say, friendships, they don't require as much emotional investment or as much restrictions as romantic relationships come with. But that's not true. That's not true at all. We just think that. We think that is the healthy friendship standard, but that is usually not how each and every dynamic functions. My argument is that sometimes it can present as worse, knowing that that person that's supposed to be a friend of yours, that person that's supposed to take on a role of safety with you, especially with family relationships, like someone that is your mother, right? And they are your mother, and they exhibit these same types of patterns where you find that it's very toxic, and you guys need to have that boundary set, that type of, maybe, I don't know, whatever it may be. It just needs to be talked about. I feel like it could even be worse in some situations than romantic relationships, which we are talking about. So I don't think like these titles should be guarded for the sake of it being platonic love. Okay, I don't know why I did air quote for that. I just meant for the sake of it being like love and platonic love. I got you. Let's read this one and we will click off, because I think I have made my point, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Okay, here, listen. You can't quantify a person, you can only experience them. She says, I've lived my whole life stereotyping, pigeonholing, and thinking of people in terms of types. So naturally, I thought that I wanted someone who was tall, good-looking, who said the wittiest things. But when I found someone who was everything I wanted, I realized it was never going to work. Because when I was with him, I just kept thinking, this should be right, this should be right. But it felt so wrong. Because when I sat down, thought about the people that I had really, really loved in my life, I'm not sure if I would have given them a second chance. But if I had just met them on the street, I don't even know if I'd swipe right on them on a dating app. And thinking back, most importantly, I don't think any of them were particularly witty or brilliant or conventionally attractive. I just loved being with them because we took a walk for 8 hours and talked all night long, because we watched a bad movie and we laughed the whole way through, and I realized I had it backwards. Unlike your career or going to the gym, I don't think having a type brings you closer to love, because the reasons why we end up loving people have nothing to do with our type. Finding love is more like holding his boulder, where all you could do is start fresh with each person, discover what happens between you two, and begin again and again and again. Because that's the only way you'll ever find what you didn't know you were looking for.